Alright, I'm back. This YouTube video is going to be called Magic versus Kobe Bryant. Two of the best basketball players in the NBA. Kobe Bryant is from the Lakers of the 2000s. Magic Johnson is from the 1980s of show Lakers Pass. Back to back. Yeah. And you know this, man. Back to back. Back to back. Now, both basketball players are five-time NBA champions. Both basketball players have played for the Los Angeles Lakers. Both basketball players were the respectable leaders of their Laker teams, playing for the same Laker franchise. Both players have had controversials. Both players have been compared to each other. Both players have had the honor and the privilege of playing against the great Michael Jordan. Now, Magic got his start in college basketball. Now, Magic was the all-around, all-American guy. He played basketball, he played football, he played baseball, he ran track, but baseball and basketball were the two sports that he was great at. Didn't really care too much about football. And it was basketball that made him a Holt House name. You know, in Michigan, he played 3 years of college basketball. Then he decided to stay for his fourth year. Won a championship in college basketball, where he went against his arch rival, the legendary great Larry Bird. Very documented. And then he found himself in the 1979 NBA draft, where him and Larry both got drafted in the NBA. Larry Bird, as we all know, went to the Boston Celtics. And the Magic Man, what he was dubbed on college basketball, was sent to the Los Angeles Lakers, where he would soon be with James Worthy, Big Game James, and a list of great basketball talents. You know, Michael Thompson, I think, was on that team. Kurt Rambis was on that team. And, other guys like Byron Scott. He came much later in the Lakers. He came much later in his basketball career. Lottie Levi, same thing, came much later in the Lakers uniform. And Magic was there with James Worthy. And James Worthy was the superstar. James Worthy was the leader. He was the man. Woo! Sorry, I had to do that. And, Magic was the rookie who popped out of nowhere, dropped 25 points or 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 blocks, 5 assists, was a great passer, good at the free throw line, and at that time he could slam dunk the basketball and was strong on defense and offense. And Magic was a 6'8" guard, something that was not common at the NBA at the time. At that time, you had to be like 5'4" or 5'7" to be a guard. He was 6'8", 220 pounds, and was a guard. And Magic was kind of like, he was LeBron James before there ever was LeBron James. He basically ran the point, and he became the first basketball player between 1981 and 1984. I think either somewhere in that time period, he became the first basketball player in either the middle of the season or in the playoffs to play all 5 positions. Nowhere in NBA history you had a basketball player play 5 positions and do them to its perfection. And he didn't just do it once, he was asked to do that in a series of games in the playoffs, and he did it. And he put up some solid numbers. Became the first player to score 40 points doing that. And Magic had solid numbers. Magic was great. Now, his rivalry picked up in the 1981-1982 NBA series against Larry Legend and those Boston Celtics. And that was a championship fight. Every time they made it to the NBA Finals, that was much-watched television. You know, Magic won his first championship his rookie year, something that, again, not too many basketball players could do. You know, Larry Bird got revenge the very next year and won a championship. Because Magic didn't get Rookie of the Year. Larry Bird got Rookie of the Year. And then, of course, by the time we got to 1984, Magic managed to win 3 championships. Larry Bird managed to win 2 championships. For almost a decade, they would go back and forth, back and forth. Then finally, we get to the 1986-1987 season, and it's Magic against Isaiah Thomas and those bad boy Pistons. And then finally, Magic beats Larry Bird one last final time. And then we get that classic thing that we see in 1987, 1988. Back to back. Yeah. Yeah. He wins back-to-back NBA championships. And by that midpoint, Magic had now become the leader of the Los Angeles Lakers basketball team. The torch had been passed from James Worthy to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to Magic Johnson. The torch had been passed. And at this point, it was a new Laker team. Now, Byron Scott was on the Laker team. Eldon Campbell came on the Laker team. Vlade Divac came on the Laker team. And finally, the Lakers would lose in the 1989 NBA Finals against Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons in an NBA Finals rematch. Isaiah won his first championship. Magic lost. And by 1990, the Lakers would lose in the third round of the Western Conference Finals, and someone else would go back to the finals. And then in 1991, Magic and those Lakers would go to the 1991 NBA Finals, where finally we got a face-off that we talk about to this very day. Magic versus Air Jordan. If you were not born in that time period, just watch the video and listen to the story. It was like taking two of the greatest boxers in their primes against each other. Here's Magic, a 5-time NBA champion. Here's Jordan trying to win his first title, his first NBA title. Now, respectively, Magic won the first game, respectively, and Michael and the Bulls beat the Lakers in 5 games and won his first NBA championship. And finally, the passing of the torch had been passed from Magic to Michael Jordan. Of course, we know Michael won 2 more championships, and we get Magic getting on his knees. I'm begging you, Michael, please come back to the NBA, Michael, please. I know if Magic saw this video, he probably would have to get on the floor and start doing a reenactment of it. But the point was, Magic was the man, and then tragedy befell the man. You know, he had to come out and tell the world that he had his HIV virus. And he played in the 1992 NBA All-Star Game as well as the Olympics, where he won his second gold medal, but not without his best friend, his best pal, Larry Bird, who was his rival in college and in the pros. And Magic finally retired from the game, only to come back as a coach, which, you know, that was kind of controversial too. Then he came back as a basketball player and tried to have another run in the NBA, which again was short-lived. I think some people compared the first half to a second half of his career. Again, he tried to go against Michael Jordan in his prime, and he put up some pretty good numbers, even though he was like way past his physical prime. He still showed at a high competitive level he could still play, which was great. And then left the game of basketball and became an ambassador. You know, then he got into some businesses. You know what they are: Starbucks coffee. There was TJ Fridays. There's his Magic 24-hour fitness. There is his Magic Johnson movie theater. He had a lot of businesses at that time. And then, of course, he got the biggest one we all know. He decided to become a public activist in politics and business. And then, of course, he was business savvy, thanks to his wife, Cookie. And then he finally got the one thing that shocked us all. He became part owner or majority owner of the LA Dodgers baseball team, because that was the second greatest sport that Magic played. And Magic made it famous to say it's showtime. And then he had a great, solid career. You know, got inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame, NBA Hall of Fame. You know, retired his jerseys, wrote 4 books. I'm serious. They made like at least 7 movies about Magic. And then, of course, he's referenced by 50 Cent in that rap song called I Got the Magic Stick. Yeah, 50 Cent got that from Magic Johnson. Magic appeared in movies and television and commercials, even in cartoons, posters, trading cards, And at one point, he had a TV talk show, which that was short-lived and disappointing. But yeah, my point is, he had a pretty good career. Now, fast forwarding today in 2019, what do we get from the Magic Man? I'm going to be basketball president of operations, and, he's happy to have LeBron James, and he's LeBron James' biggest fan and supporter, and what does the Magic Man do? Right towards the end of the NBA season, disappear without telling anyone. Now, some people like to regard Magic as a coward. Okay, like I said in my video about the 5 reasons why it's LeBron James and the Lakers sucked this season. And I said I gave Magic Johnson 50% of the blame, and it's because if you know you can't get no players on the team to help LeBron win a championship, for a person that's won 5 championships, gone to the NBA Finals 10 times, you went to the Finals 10 to 11 times in your career, but you won 5 championships. The least Magic could have done was at least tell the front office, hey, this ain't working. I'm the Magic Man. I deserve some respect. I'm Magic Man. What's wrong with y'all? That's what Magic should have done. And that kind of, I don't think it hurts his legacy, but it does hurt the Lakers' legacy when you think about it. Because people won't stop talking about it. People are still furious that Magic did it. Now for Kobe, he won 5 championships. He could have won more if he didn't mess up with Shaq. So who's better, Magic or Kobe? I'm gonna incline and say it's a tie at this point. Both won 5 championships. Both went to the finals. Both accomplished some things that have never been accomplished. Kobe scoring 81 points is one of them. Kobe scoring 60 points 8 times in his career. And then the patent his game after Michael Jordan. It's a tie.